Welcome to the Science of Fiction HFY Galaxy Tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new story from HFY Galaxy Tales. Where humanity always finds a way. The last shell on ML, the son of planet. ML rose slowly over the glowing ocean, casting soft pink light across the beach. White sand sparkled like tiny stars, and tall trees with crystal leaves swayed gently in the wind. The pearls lived here in peace, singing to the seashells and listening to the ocean's song. But today, the beach was quiet. No singing, no laughter, only silence and smoke. Nayla stood near the water, her skin glowing faintly in the morning light. She was one of the last pearls. Her long white hair was tangled with dust and seaweed. In her hands, she held a shining shelfa, only one left. From the sacred reef, her world had ended in a moment of fire. Ships from the sky came without warning, destroying everything. She watched the sky, still hoping for a sign that someone else had survived, but the ocean only brought broken pieces of her home driftwood. Stones, shattered jewelry. She dropped to her knees and placed the shell beside her, whispering a prayer to the sea. Then she saw it, a bright flash falling from the sky. Not fire this time, but something different. A ship, small and spinning, tore through the clouds and crashed into the trees near the beach. Nayla stood slowly, holding the shell close. Her heart beat fast, but not with fear. She moved carefully through the burned sand, stepping over black marks from old blasts. The wreckage crackled with steam and broken lights. Inside the ship, something moved. She leaned in and saw a human, a young man, injured, breathing hard, one hand clutching a device. His eyes opened weakly, meeting hers. He didn't speak, but his gaze showed confusion and pain. Nayla felt something strange. The shell in her hand began to glow, pulsing softly with the same rhythm as the man's device. The light between them grew stronger, connecting shell and machine like two pieces of a puzzle. The moment was broken by a sharp sound. In the distance, other ships were approaching, dark, loud, and armed. Nayla stepped back. The soldiers who destroyed her world were returning. And they would not care who this human was. She had a choice: leave the man behind or help him and risk being caught again. She looked at the shell, then at his face. Slowly, she reached out her hand to him. The man tried to speak, but no words came. Instead, he nodded weakly and grabbed her hand. She pulled him up with surprising strength and guided him away from the wreck. Together, they ran along the shore, hiding behind rocks and trees as the soldiers landed near the crash site. Nayla knew a secret path below the beach, where glowing coral tunnels led deep into the sea. She helped the man into the water. He gasped as the cold hit him, but she signaled him to stay quiet. They swam through the tunnels, blue lights swirling around them, the shell still glowing between them. Finally, they reached a cave hidden beneath the reef, where the air was warm, and the walls shimmered with memory stones. Nayla laid him down gently and placed the shell beside him, watching his chest rise and fall. For the first time since the attack, she was not alone, but she didn't know who he was, or why the shell responded to him. The man opened his eyes again and whispered, "Where am I?" She placed a finger on his lips, then pointed to the shell. "You are with the last pearl," she said softly. He looked at the shell, then at her, and nodded slowly, as if something inside him understood. The war had taken her people, her peace, and her past. But maybe, with this stranger from the sky, the future was still alive. The hidden light beneath the waves, the soldiers marched across the burned beach, their black suits shining under the sun. They spoke in short commands, scanning the wreckage for any signs of life. Inside the coral cave deep below, Nayla watched the water glow red from their ship lights above. The human was still weak, lying beside her on a bed of soft moss and crystal stones. His breathing was steady now, but his eyes remained half closed, as if still lost in pain or memory. Nayla placed the glowing shell beside him. Its light pulsed slowly, in time with his chest. She touched his shoulder gently and whispered, "We must move. It's not safe here." The man stirred and tried to sit up, wincing from the pain in his ribs. "My name is Valen," he said, his voice dry and low. She stared at him for a moment, then nodded. "I am Nayla. This is what remains of my world." Valen looked around the cave. The glowing stones, the flowing water, the quiet sadness in her eyes. "This place. I saw it once, in a dream," he said, confused. Nayla picked up the shell and held it toward him. "This belongs to the sea, but it speaks to you." Valen touched the shell. The moment his fingers met its surface, light burst around them. For a second, They were no longer in the cave, they were standing on the beach of ML before the destruction. He saw her people dancing, singing, the sky full of color and life. He saw the blast, the fire raining from human ships, and Nayla running with the last shell. Then he saw himself, on a human ship, watching the destruction from a screen, unable to stop it. The vision faded. Valen fell to his knees. We did this. My people. I was there. Nayla stepped back, her eyes full of pain, but not hate. I knew you were part of it, she said softly. But the shell still chose you. Valen looked up. Why? Why would it connect with me after all that? She turned toward the tunnel. Because something greater is coming. And only together can we face it. Footsteps echoed from above. The soldiers were searching the caves now. Getting closer, Nayla helped Valen stand. Follow me. The sea is not done with you yet. They swam deeper through the reef. Past glowing fish and singing shells. At the bottom of the tunnel, they reached a dome hidden beneath rock and coral. It was an old pearl sanctuary, untouched by war, filled with memory orbs and light walls. Nayla placed the shell into a slot in the center of the room. The floor lit up, revealing an ancient map. It showed the galaxy, many stars blinking, and a line leading straight to the city of 1,000 planets. Valen stepped forward. Alpha, that's where I was headed. That's where the answers are. Nayla nodded. The city holds the truth, but they erased my people. They must be shown what really happened. The shell responded to their voices, projecting another image, this time of Valen holding it inside Alpha's central chamber. It was a vision of hope, a warning, and a path forward. Nayla turned to him. If we reach Alpha, can you protect me? Can you speak for my people? Valen placed his hand over his heart. I swear it. I was silent once. I won't be again. Outside, the soldiers broke into the upper cave, shouting orders and firing at shadows, but it was too late. Nayla and Valen had already vanished into the deep water below. Their journey had begun not just to survive, but to bring light to a city built on forgotten voices. The sea behind them whispered its goodbye. And the stars ahead waited to remember the truth. The city remembers the forgotten asterisk. Valen had never seen anything as big as Alpha. The city of 1,000 planets was floating like a giant starfish in space. Different parts spun and moved, held together by gravity, machines, and old promises. Between alien worlds, thousands of species lived there, from flying serpents to metal-skinned giants, all sharing the same sky. Valen and Nayla slipped into the city through a cargo dock meant for traders. Avoiding the guards and scanners, they wore cloaks taken from a quiet market below. But Nayla's glowing skin still drew curious eyes. Valen kept her close, guiding her through narrow walkways and noisy tunnels filled with neon light. They moved deeper into the heart of the city, toward the place known as the Memory Hall. That chamber held the history of every species welcomed into Alpha, of every race but the pearls. Nayla touched the shell hidden in her robe. It was glowing more brightly now, reacting to the city's core energy. Valen noticed it too. It's time. We need to show them what they chose to forget. But they were not alone. A group of security officers spotted them near the chamber gates. Stop. Hands up, shouted the leader, raising a weapon. Nayla froze. Valen stepped in front of her, holding his arms high. I am Valen Kale. Alpha clearance code 7-4 Goma. She's under my protection. Lower your weapons. The guards hesitated. One of them scanned his ID. The result blinked green. We were told she's dangerous, the leader said. Valen's voice was firm. Only 2 lies. Let her speak. The guards backed away slowly. The gates opened with a deep hum, revealing the circular memory hall. Inside, floating images of history moved around like glowing spirits, telling stories of peace and war. But nowhere was ML, no pearls, no mention of the beach, the fire, or the song. Nayla stepped to the center. She placed the shell on the pedestal, and it began to sing. A soft sound filled the chamber like waves, wind, and heartbeats all woven together. Lights burst out, surrounding the room in a glowing sphere of memory. The beach of ML appeared, full of life and beauty. Her people danced and sang, smiling under the twin suns. Then came the warships, the fire, the destruction from the sky. Everyone inside the chamber saw it. Leaders, officers, and citizens stared in silence. Tears filled the eyes of those who still had hearts to feel. The shell showed more how the pearls tried to escape, how they trusted the wrong voices, and how they were erased. When the vision ended, no one spoke for a long time. Then the council's voice came through a speaker. This was hidden. We never saw this truth. Nayla stepped forward. You erased us. But we were real. We are still real. Valen stood beside her. And now, the city must remember. The council agreed. The pearls were added back into Alpha's records, their memory restored in full. A monument was placed. Inside the hall, a glowing seashell spinning with gentle light. Nayla was offered a home in the city. Not as a guest, but as a voice of her people. Valen was thanked for his courage. But he refused medals or praise. I didn't do this to be a hero, he said. I did it because I saw the truth and couldn't ignore it. Nayla smiled gently. You heard the ocean even when the stars were loud. Together, they stood beneath the monument as crowds gathered to listen to the story of ML. The song of the shell played softly. Echoing through every corner of Alpha, the Pearls Beach was gone, but its light now lived in the hearts of many, and in that great city of planets. One human and one pearl showed the galaxy what it truly meant to remember.